Hello, hello, everyone. Oh, look, Dan's here. Hi, Dan. Hi, Brian. Let's see. Just going to give it a few minutes, let everyone get their technology figured out and get comfy to sit back and watch this amazing webinar we have for you today. I am Lisa. I am part of the team here at PhotoDay. And little backstory, this is Brian Derenski. If you guys don't know who Brian is, everyone say hi to Brian.
Nobody knows who I am.
Well, Brian was one of the early adopters of PhotoDay a few years ago now, and has been using it for his business since he found us. And he's also now part of the team here at PhotoDay. So welcome to the team, Brian.
Thanks. This has been a wild ride. I'm telling you, just seeing the whole thing from the inside, folks, man, I'm telling you, it's like a duck on water, on the top, what you guys get to see is this smooth surface, this nice, smooth motion, just cruising around. But behind the scenes under that water, there are hundreds of ducks just paddling like crazy to keep this thing running and coming up with new ideas and new stuff all the time. So honestly, it's been an eye opener to come from a user standpoint to see the inside working. So this has been pretty fun for me. So.
Yes, it's been actually really fun having you part of the team now. You were kind of already part of the way.
Unofficially.
Unofficially part of the team. We just made it official. So it's been amazing, and you've been a great help to the team, and you're kind of like in every department in a way, everywhere from product to marketing to CS, like everywhere.
I'm kind of like everywhere. So, and that's been fun for me because I get to see everything and kind of really get the big picture. So it kind of helps me understand the whole thing. So.
Yeah, well, one of the things that we see a lot of new users or even some of our existing users struggle with is, being able to utilize the tools that we have in PhotoDay for various different workflows. And I think how you figured out the capture workflow to use with PixNub to produce your composites is absolutely brilliant. I know there's quite a few of you guys that are doing it now, but that's what today's webinar is all about. So I guess I'll let you get to it, Brian.
All right. Well, so if you don't know who I am, Brian Derenski with Brian Derenski Photography. I'm based out of Springfield, Missouri. I specialize really in portrait or in composite work, and it's just kind of my love. And I've been using PixNub's software. If you're not familiar with it, go find them out. It's pixnub.com. They help really automate a lot of that composite process. So everything from extraction to composites and even building teams. So, but using the capture data and private galleries here with PhotoDay has allowed me to go back to really customizing those composites for youth sports so that I can add things like names and jersey numbers and kind of really, put a more personalized flavor back on those images, because before this I had taken names off of composites because it was just a gigantic amount of work for very little return. This way we've been able to, take something that we use on PhotoDay, gather that data, export it out, and really kind of make a simplified workflow to really, get the things composited. So really what we're going to talk about is, how do you get that data? And let's really start by, setting up a private gallery job so that you can run this. Now, I'm going to tell you a little secret, and you can use a private gallery just for yourself. You can set up 2 jobs for your sales. You can set up a group gallery for easy marketing, easy selling, one opt-in code or one access code, and continue to market things that way. But on the backside, you can use the Capture app to manage checking in players, making sure you've got names and stuff correct, matching up those images matching up a reference image to your high-res photos, and basically, getting all of that information so that it's something you can use to build your composites with. Then you just upload those to the other gallery, and you've got a 2-point workflow, but it's really a convenience. So some people don't necessarily want this. I love the private galleries. I like keeping things separate. I like so that, if I do 6 images of one player and 9 of another because they just happen to be more photogenic or just happen to have an idea while we were standing there, I'm not going to tell them no. Let's just take it and I can sell it. Images are your inventory. So the more you have, the more that mom has to select from. So anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Well, let's go ahead and go back real quick. Go back, please. Let's see. Let's set up a job first. I'll show you that. Let's talk about data collection. So getting this data from your league, your school, your coaches, whatever. There's really a couple of different ways to get that data from them. You need to request it and make it a matter of fact. Don't ask pretty please. Just say, this is what I need to provide you the level of service you expect from me. And that's exactly what I put in my emails to them. To take all the work off your plate, just send me a roster in a spreadsheet. Sometimes they don't understand CSV. They'll print out a PDF of their thing. So you really need to just say, I need the spreadsheet. You need that actual physical data. I need a spreadsheet with these headers. I'll even send them a Google Sheet link that has all that data in it so they can see the headers of what I need and how it's formatted. You could do a sign-up genius if they really just don't have that access, which I don't understand why they wouldn't have emails for you. How do they communicate with their players anyway, or their students or whatever? If they just don't want to do that, you can send out a link and say, okay, I need everyone to sign up using the sign-up genius form. It's an easy way for them for you to collect that data outside of them giving it to you, or just a Google form. But it's really easy to just, take that information and then we upload that inside of our private gallery. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the 3 types. We've got group galleries, which are really great for teams, leagues, that kind of stuff, where you really only want one access code, and you give them the ability to sort and find their images by the 3 methods, which are find all, tags, or face find. You can shut off any one of those or offer all 3 of them. So that's great for those particular instances where you just want to give out one access code to everyone. It's a quick, easy way to do it. They can post this on their Facebook page. They can post it inside their rec center or whatever. Have a poster put up with your marketing information on it with this code. That's a really fast way to do it. Public galleries are really more for things like weddings, they're great for like charitable events where you're just going around taking candid photos of an event that's happening and you want people to just have access. You can have that access code right there at the front, or that link right there at the front of the doors when they come in. To view today's images, just take your phone and you can put a QR code on it, and they can see, they can scan it with their phone and see the images right then and there. So that's really more for an open forum where you don't need it's not a secure access point. Everybody that has the link can see it. But we're going to talk about private. Private is really individual gallery codes or galleries for each student record or each player. It self-separate out each player's images away from everyone else's, and they get their own private code. So that's the only way they can access that. Let's go on and show you how to set this up. So let's screen share. Let's do screen 2. Okay. So here I am with this particular thing. I've already set one up, but let's just walk through the process real fast. You can upload a logo here. Let's see. I've already got a logo set up because I did it last night. And this logo is a PNG. Excuse me, and it will be used on your marketing materials and inside with memory mates that have templates if you're offering that. Since I'm doing full composites and we're talking about full composites, this will only be used on like the marketing materials. So any marketing flyers that go out, it helps them recognize that this is something they probably should look at because it's got their school or team logo on it. We can set this job name up with Brian's basketball. All right. And if I spell it wrong, y'all just, live with it. I don't type very well, and it's well known. So, all right. Good grief. All right, let's move that over there. So the job category is really what you're shooting. So are you shooting dance? Are you shooting high school sports? This is just basically a youth rec league, preschool. We have all kinds of different events you can and job categories you can apply here, but we're going with high school sports today. The organization has to be here. So this is basically a CRM. If you're not familiar with how to set a job up, this is where you just store the contact information and their title and who they are so that you can come back and talk to them and communicate with them. So we're going to add that. We require a shoot day. So we're going to pick today. I don't know if it'll take it. Yeah, it'll be fine. This is just for numbers, an estimated number of players being done. It helps you kind of track your percentages of opt-ins and sales per person. So it's optional, but I think I've got 10 in here, so we'll do that. And your time zone needs to be where you're at. So hit create, and it should go right to the job dashboard. So we need to set up a gallery access, and this is pretty much it. We're going to select private gallery. Your opt-in codes are automatically generated for you by our system, so you don't have to deal with that. We'll get into how you reach those and where you send those out at the end here. But I don't expire my galleries because I like to just leave it open for people. The way I expire a gallery really is more about marketing and communication than it is an actual expiration date. So I'll send out a flyer that says, for best pricing, order by whatever date I need them to order by. Or if I'm doing a fundraiser for the school, to have your order applied to the fundraiser, order by this date. And then we'll just, do a cutoff date on orders. But I don't want to have to come back and open the job back up again. I don't want to have to handle this again. So I just leave it open, and you won't believe how many parents forget. And by the time you come back to do their photos next time, they're like, oh, I forgot. I just had somebody order $100 for the photos from last year because I just finished taking their baseball pictures this year. They forgot. So that way I didn't have to mess with it. So we're going to hit save. We're going to set up storefront. If you haven't figured this out yet, this is where we do our price sheet. And if you haven't created a price sheet, you can make one here. It'll take you out, allow you to build your price sheet. And when you hit save on the price sheet, you just come in here and hit refresh. And I think we did demo gallery. And then we're doing basketball today. So that's that. And we can come back here. And if you want to do advanced pay credits, which advanced pay is a great way to get people to put money in and get money up front. There's a lot of different ways to do that. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about the benefits of or the process of advanced pay, but the benefits are really money spent is money forgotten. You get them to basically add a credit. And this is really no different than what they used to do with with writing you a check with an order form and all of that stuff. So it's really no different. And I explain it as a credit applied to checkout. When you set up your credit, you can type in some verbiage in there that'll allow you to explain it even further. And it's tied to their phone number. So, and it is studio wide. So if they don't use it in this gallery and they've got another kid that plays another sport you photograph, they can use it in that gallery. It's not tied to the gallery. It's tied to your studio in general. So I have an advanced pay that I've already set up. I have an offer we'll use today. You can apply an offer and use credits, use a qualifying amount or statement to minimize or maximize your sales. Not minimize your sales, but minimize the amount spent. I usually put a qualifier of $40 or more. So you can get this free shipping or this 15% off if you spend $40 or more. That qualifies your customer, and then they know that they're going to spend $40 at least on photos. So you already know your average order value is going to be $40 for all your advanced pays. So I'm doing 15% off 30 or more. This one requires a $30 or more purchase. I like to require the customer data just in case something happens. I can search by that. It's not necessary, but then I always preview the storefront. Doing this is really necessary so they can look at your packages and the pricing and the products that you offer, so they can kind of figure out how much money they want to spend on an advanced pay credit. So we'll hit save here. I think I got everything done there. And really now we're just getting ready to upload subjects. So this is where you take this roster. So I'm going to open up, I've got, where is it? I've got a basic roster here. This is kind of what I'd get from the school. All right. These names are fictitious. They are not representing the actual kids. I hope you understand that, because none of them are named Michael Jordan or Bill Cartwright. They're none of the 89 Bulls. But anyway, I had to have a little fun there. And obviously, I'm not sending out any emails to anybody else but myself. So, but this is where you could add a jersey number, or all of the other data that you can. If you had a graduating year, or any kind of other data that you want to change in your Photoshop template. Let's see here. So I'm going to export this or save it. This is this is Apple numbers, so it's a little goofy, but for the rest of you that use Google Sheets or Excel, use whatever process works for exporting as a CSV. So unfortunately, I have to go here and export. And I just need to find my PhotoDay template setup here, PhotoDay demo files and rosters. And so I've already got it in there, but it has to be saved as a CSV. And for some reason, I don't have this app set to add the file format. All right, so now it's now a CSV. So I'm going to go in and we're going to add that data. So you can click here to just add your data right there. Upload a CSV file. You can also enter data manually if you need to. You can add people later. So if you upload this, you can also add people later before your photo shoot. So we are going to go back to that, rosters and CSV. So now basically you map all of your information however you want it. I've got first name here. It's looking for last name. Probably because I spelled it wrong in my template. I told you I suck at typing. It's team, and then I'm going to map this to email. You can have 3 emails listed, so well, also here I'll just go through these. You can have mobile phone numbers. You can have teacher, grade, period, homeroom, schools, instructors, all kinds of stuff. And of course, we left you 3 others that you can use. There's another 2, another 3 that can be any information you want to provide. However you want to track that. So. At this point now you just hit map. And so now you've mapped your data, and our system's already given them each an access code right here. So we know that these are, you can sort and export. We'll get into that here in a minute. But right now I'm going to hit done. And as soon as I hit done, I'm going to go to hit set job to advanced pay. I've just set that as a process because on this previous job, I forgot to set it to advanced pay. And so I went to publish it, went, oh boy, here we go. So I put in a gallery promo for a week and gave parents free shipping if they ordered within a week. So anyway, set it to advanced pay and you're ready to go. So now you go out and you shoot your job, really. And before you do that, we're going to do a quick, I'm going to mirror my phone here, and I'm going to show you the Capture app, because now you want to sync this, this gallery to your Capture app. So let me mirror this out. Okay. There it is. So we're going to get out of here and get out of here, and we're going to sync this Capture Day demo. Okay, so there's Brian's basketball. Enable syncing allows you to sync just the data here. That way, if you've got a bunch of jobs in here, you don't have to keep syncing it. It kind of helps reduce the amount of data, but you want to sync your data. And now you're ready to go out and shoot your job. You take this with you, and you're going to check everybody in. Let me get out of this, and I'll bring up that folder of images. Here we go. And so I've already extracted some of these guys, so we're just going to pick a couple. We're going to load these all in here as if I'm shooting them day of. So there's a dude right there. We're going to call him Larry Bird. I don't know. And it's just, this is easy. So you're seeing this live. It's mapped it. And now we move on to the next one. And so just keep going down the line until you're happy with, and I don't have to open them all in Photoshop, but until I find the next guy. So we're going to call this guy Kevin Gamble. And there you go. And so just keep on going down the line. We're going to do every single one of these as if I'm shooting them. You know, kid comes up and there he is. We'll call him Kevin McHale. Okay, now you probably can't see that because I've moved this over there. Let's get this out of the way. All right. And Robert Parrish. Anybody can tell at this point I'm a basketball fan from the 80s. So this is the classic year of the Bulls versus the Celtics. So why not? All right.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
I think, too, it's important for anyone new to capture to note that when you're taking reference photos, if you got a bunch of kids in the background, yeah, like it's not gonna be good because it's gonna pick up all those kids and group them into that gallery. So you got to make sure you're photographing your reference photos up against the wall or not with other faces in the background.
Exactly. Yes. Very, very good point there, because honestly, I've done that before and had to go through and unmatch a bunch of them. So, you know, we'll just call him Bill Cartwright and call it good. And I'm not sure what it is with the hair these days, but I'm telling you, the crazy hair has become a deal for young boys. All right, so next down. And just keep cranking through these really fast. Oddly enough, he looks a little like John Paxson. All right, I got 2 more. Basically just did 10. That's my last dude. I must have missed somebody up here. Sorry, guys. Just give me a second to figure out what I missed. Oh, here, I think this guy. Now, you'll be doing this with actual people. I'm filing through all these files trying to figure out who I missed. You won't have that issue when you've got a kid standing right there in front of you. I'm just searching through to make sure I'm duplicating this up. But we can fix this later, too. So let me see who I've got. So we can go to the checked in, and I can kind of go through here and see who I did. So that's Bird. Cartwright is that dude. We already got him. Yeah. I'm basically scrolling through, seeing if I've got this player. Yeah, I got him already. And I got that guy. Yeah. Okay, so somebody way up the top here. I must have taken the first one and skipped him. Well, and even if it's duplicated, I'll fix it later. Since it's just a demo, we're going to go back to this, and we're going to just throw him in there and call it good. Okay. All right, so I've got my players' reference images taken. You would do this at the shoot, so you just have them line up. You can have multiple people with phones, and these phones don't even need phones and tablets. You don't even need to have Wi-Fi access or cell signal. As long as you sync your gallery with the Capture app before you leave your studio or before you lose signal, you'll have an accurate list of people on here. So we go back and you can see there's nobody that's been missed. So everybody's been checked in. That way you really know who's missing. And then even if they haven't been checked in, you can mark them as absent, which is excellent to give back to the coaches or schools, whatever, so that they know who really needs to be reminded that, you know, there's a retake if there's one available. I don't generally do retakes. If you miss, you can come to one of my other shoots around the town and I'll fit you in. I usually have to clear it with a coach, but it's usually no problem. So, all right. So we've got everybody in here, and Capture app, I'm basically done with the Capture app. That's really, you know, where it ends at this point for the Capture app. It's done all of the work for me. So we're going to shut that off, and we'll move on to, let me close these out here really quick. Come on. All right. So now I've got them all matched up. I'll go back to the gallery and I'll show you. Here are the 10 players, and I don't see anybody duplicated that I can tell just from looking at them. But if you pull in here and you want to see, you know, what their images look like, you'll be able to find those as soon as you upload your Yeah, these are all good. Okay, so we're going to go pull and upload a small set of my green screen photos. So I have this list right now. This gives me everything I need to know about them, but I've already got the, yeah, let's go ahead and upload them real quick. Did I get the originals in here? Nope, I didn't. All right, let's go back to, okay, so we'll pull that. Sorry, guys, I missed a step here when I was setting up the other day, and I don't have my my working files open. There they are. Sorry, I'm pulling from an actual job that I recently photographed about 2 months ago. So these are actual images from a real job. Let's see, originals. Okay. All right. So when you are looking for your images, and we're going to get into this fairly quickly. When you're shooting and exporting out of Lightroom, you're going to export your images right out of Lightroom into a folder. I call it selects folder. It's whatever you want to call it that makes sense to you. But as you can see over here in this is really how I organize a job. That's my selects folder. That's where I'm going to export out of Lightroom from. So after I've done all my culling, all my editing, color correcting, whatever, I'm going to export everything that looks good into that folder. So that's where everything I'm going to reference at this point is going to come from. But those are all JPEGs. So once you export out a JPEG, let me see here, you're going to need to look for JPEGs. So let me convert these back to the search back to JPEGs. There we go. And convert it back to JPEG. I'm going to convert them all here. This is just a text file that I can find and replace the file ender here. So I'm just going to try to find these images quickly so we can move them. I didn't move them beforehand. I'm copying that, and this is where some of this comes in. So I'm using Photo Mechanic to find these photos that I already know that I have that I'm using for this demo. I want to give you the originals so that we can walk through how to extract them. But I didn't copy them over here for you. So I have to find them knowing that I already had those listed. So I'm going back into the selects folder. And so now I'm going to hit Command Find, which is showing up over here for some reason. Yeah, it's showing up on my other screen. Pull that over. So I'm going to select all. I'm going to delete it, make sure I've got what I need here. Oops. I missed a number on that text field. All right, so now we just paste that in there, and it's going to find them all for me. Well, that's interesting. They're not in there. So I told you this was going to, oh, that's because I'm looking in the wrong spot. No, this should be everybody. And I'm looking for JPEGs unless I totally moved them out. I did. I probably moved them out of there. There they all are. All right, so is that everybody? It is. All right. I'm going to move, and unfortunately, these are all PSDs, so they've all already been set up for extraction, but let's just go ahead and, I don't want to move all of them. Well, folks, this is just not working the way it should. All right. And my camera's shutting off too. Cool.
It happens.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd moved all these over, but I must have duplicated them into this folder. So that's why there's 480 of them and not 50. So
yeah.
All right. So I'm going to just grab these out of the demo folder, which is extracted right here. So there they are, all extracted. It's not really what I wanted to show you today. I wanted to run through all of that. Where are they? So why are they there but not showing up? They're the same images, the same numbers. That's weird. It's like it's just they're all there. I know the guys are all here. I see one right there. That's one of my guys that I selected. 400 and some odd photos here. All right. All right. Well, we'll just pick a handful of them, and I'm going to move them by hand. All right.
Oh, everybody, Tim spied why it's not working because you had 2 dots in your file name before the JPEG.
Where? Let's see it. Oh, it is. You're right. Thank you. I didn't see that. I'm blind as a bat. Here, I'll fix that real quick. Go back to my text file. That'll help.
Tim saved the day.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, I didn't see that. That's ridiculous. All right, so find dot and replace it with just dot. All right, that'll fix it. Thanks, bud. Appreciate you. All right, so I don't want to copy all those over because all right, so let's go back to my selects folder. Okay, well, that's not good. There we go. There. All right. Now I can move these guys over. These are the originals. We'll just move these over to here, and we'll call them selects. Before I do that, I better make sure there's nothing in that folder. Okay. All right. So we're gonna option click and copy these into the selected folder. All right. All right. So now we're good there. Okay. So now I can access these. Sorry, guys. That was like 5 minutes of pain you just got to watch. So, but such is life with these things. So, all right. So I'm going to hide that. We don't need that anymore. I don't need this anymore. All right. So you've shot your job. You've got them all in Lightroom. You've exported them all. You've done all your editing. Just export them out to this folder. And then we need to extract them. So there's 2 processes with extraction. So we're going to get into a lot of pick snub stuff, heavy stuff right here. So we need to match up this data eventually with these. So don't change the file names once you do this. Oh, here's a step I want you to do. So once you've exported, you're going to upload a small version of your JPEGs. So I've got this selects folder here. I don't know how big these are. These are small. Okay, so I'm going to run these through really quick, and I'll take a question or two while this is running. I'm going to run these up to PhotoDay. I'm basically going to upload them so that FaceFind can do its matching thing, so that I now will get my image numbers matched up with their faces. So then we can start dealing with the data. We can do an export and download. But I'm going to save some time, I'm going to process these down to really small JPEGs. This is usually more than enough. Well, you can go to 10 on the quality. That'll make them even smaller. And then we're going to export this out. Selects folder. All right, so there's your folder. I'm gonna save it in the same location. I'll just create a small folder called JPEG, and everything that gets compressed will go right in there. I'm gonna run this batch real quick. If anybody's got any questions so far, I know I've probably confused the hell out of you because of that little problem, but basically you're watching real time as Photoshop runs its batch image processor. And I do this anyway with my jobs. As soon as I have my selects, I'll make a duplicate export and export them really small so that they don't take much time to upload. Really, all I want is to get these image numbers matched with the file names to the player, so I can create an export and start working with the data from PhotoDay. Like I said, this is not for the faint of heart. There is some complications here, but I think so far the steps have been, I'll just outline them again. You go through and you set up your job as a private gallery. Then you get your roster from your team. You upload that roster for your player information, and you make sure that that's all good to go. Then you open the Capture app on your phone and sync that gallery data with your phone, and then you go shoot your job. You take the Capture app and do your reference photos, and then you can come home and upload or download your images to your computer and make your select. See, it took like no time. So now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to upload photos. So I'm going to upload a folder of photos, and it's going to be in this PhotoDay demo files under selects, and at the bottom it'll have a little folder called JPEG. All right, so these are all small. See, they're 400 kilobytes. I mean, this is like, you know, no-brainer stuff. So 50 images, so that's good. That means I got all the images. And you're watching real time as my computer uploads these things, and it will just start matching all of these images up. So as you can see, it's now, there's at least one with this kid in it. And really, I'm not saving the green screen images, but there's an advantage to this. You upload these green screen images. When you start uploading your final composites, you'll know if you skipped a player or something funky happened, if there's still a green image in there. So occasionally, you know, something weird will happen in Photoshop, and you know, it'll miss an image. For some reason, it just doesn't process it. Maybe the kid's eyes are closed, or there's a helmet on and it's just trying to figure out which direction to put the player, and it just skips it. So anyway, right now it's matching faces, and currently it says it has 5 unmatched, because apparently I didn't upload or match that kid's face. So we've got bird, Cartwright. Somebody in here is a duplicate. So this is what we were talking about earlier. I have a duplicate kid in here somewhere. So this one. Well, there's his images right there. So, all right. So if you have unmatched faces, it's easy to match them up. But apparently that's not the same kid. And I must have missed grabbing these guys. He's only got 2 images in here, but for some reason it says they're all 50 are in here. But that's the only one that doesn't have 2. All right. All right, Kevin Gamble apparently doesn't have all his images. Is that the same kid? Nope, it's not. All right. Yeah, he's got missed. Or I had an extra kid. All right, let's just move on, because this isn't really going to help you any. There's apparently a player I just either didn't put in or I added an extra player. I'm not sure how that happened, but in my particular instance, I probably selected not all of the players. So, all right. That's annoying. Anyway, if I were to find this kid's image and I wanted to upload or match these all up, you just go up here and you'd find the kid's image. So I can see with my eyeballs, and because it's not a QR code or a barcode, I can tell if I've got him in here anywhere, and I don't. He's not even in here. So I uploaded a kid that I didn't take a reference image of, or I took a reference image of somebody I didn't have images for, and I ended up grabbing just a couple. So for this demo, that's how you would match those images up. That's where you're going to find your unmatched images. I'm going to leave this for now because I'll be able to fix this later. Moving on to exporting your data, this is where we'll find out where everything's done. You can go right here. You can have a photo count. So I know that this one's only got 3. This one only has 2. Somehow I missed getting all 5 of theirs, and I must have grabbed an extra player. So now we're going to make an export. So the export is really easy. You make one here, and you can name it whatever. So I'm going to name this full team, just for fun, just because that means I've got everybody in here. So I'm not separating it out by 7th and 8th grade. I'm not separating it out by, you know, memory mate selection or anything else. And we'll get into that here really quick. I'm not sure we're going to have enough time, but we'll see. All right. So select all subjects. You can narrow that down by all subject with a reference photo, or all subjects with no reference photo to figure out who you missed. If you didn't have somebody show up, you can file that out. You'll know exactly who it was that way. So I'm going to do everyone with a reference photo, and we're going to group it by team. So that way I've now got it separated out by team. You can do 3 different types of exports. The one that we're going to deal with here is just subject data. So we hit confirm there and start the export. The other exports are more for schools with yearbook export or deliverables like an admin CD or for name badges and stuff. All right, so we're going to download this. Now that it's done, it's going to open automatically for me. And so now you can see I've got a spreadsheet. I hate this little message here. Get out of here. I've got a spreadsheet with first and last name. Here's their access code, the email that they're going to get their marketing materials sent to, and their grades. So I've got 5 7th and 5 8th graders. The fact that there's only a couple in here really for this demo doesn't matter. But if you know you're supposed to have 5 images per, you'll know that you missed a couple images here, and you need to go back and figure out why Kevin Gamble is missing 2 images. For me, I'm not going to worry about it. So now we can take this data and we can do a couple of things with it. Let me convert it and export it out as a CSV now. For some reason, Apple numbers, and I hate Apple numbers, but that's what's easily accessible here for me, is you have to append it with the file name for it to actually recognize it as a CSV. So we're going to save it out as a CSV with just adding .csv. I haven't set it up. It's supposed to do it automatically, and I can't figure out or can't remember how to do that automatically. So I just end up doing that. That's a little extra step that you probably won't have to deal with. And if you're using Excel or Google Sheets, those will automatically take care of that for you. So, all right, so we're done with that. We've got the data. So now we're going to go ahead and run some Photoshop composite stuff. So we'll bring back up Photoshop. I want to extract all of those images. So we're going to go back in, and for the sake of quickness, I'm going to just do a single extraction, which let's point that up over there. We're going to do a single extraction process. And again, it's bringing up everything over there. So Easy Green Screen allows you to do extraction processes in both what's called single mask and dual mask. Single mask is just, it treats the entire player as a single selection or a mask of that selection. Dual mask is where you are telling it that there's another area that you want it to treat differently. So you're going to make a second selection of the rest of the body. So it's going to take, you can separate out the hair, and that's what we'll use this for, is separating out hair from the rest of the body, because you don't want to necessarily do a 2-pixel contraction on hair because it'll make it look choppy. But you might want to do it on the body and have it pull in any small 1-pixel edge that you can kind of see around it, which kind of leads it to not looking really real. Depending on how these are set up, I don't recall if these are dual mask or not. I'm going to set them up as single. And then you have an auto clear feature here. So a lot of AI services do not allow or will not clear stuff out that is outside the field of green. It is only keying out or removing out the green in the extraction process. Those services, they're AI. They don't think. They just know that that's green and that's what I need to remove. If you need to have other stuff removed, it's another usual cost. So we can get into the different services and other stuff. And PhotoDay has their own knockout service, and we'll talk about that. But there are best practices for using AIs, and one of those is fill the frame with green. Make sure you've got green edge to edge, up and top and bottom. Don't have anything else in the frame. I don't know. I get lazy and I don't take care of my my beauty dish, which is what I shoot with as a main or key light, and it's usually 3 feet above or in front of the player, and usually just like hanging just above their forehead. Just because I like how that looks. I like the light fall off from it. And so I don't clear it out of the way very frequently. And sometimes it's a little closer than it needs to be. So it's always in frame. So that always needs to be cleared out. Only way to do that is to use mask auto clear. So what it's going to do is it's going to take a selection. It's going to find the selection that it was made, and then it is going to clear out everything away from it that is 50 pixels outside that selection, or whatever pixels you select. The wider the selection, the more likely it is you're not going to clip anything off of the player. Especially bats or basketballs or rackets. If the end of the pole or end of the racket's sticking out, it can tend to trim those off if you're doing too tight of a pixel selection here. You're going to want to use select, subject, and face detection. This will take just a little bit longer, but I find it, for me, works better, especially with equipment inside the picture. Now, Damon's probably watching this and going, God, Brian, no. So he will correct me if I'm wrong. Trust me. Look here in about an hour and find his information when he corrects me on anything. So we're going to do a single mask and see if this works. Oh, these are dual masks. Hang on. Yeah, run as dual mask using the selection. I'm going to back out of this real quick because it's going to make me select every one of these. I've already gone through and done a dual mask selection. So apparently I just need to run those as dual mask. Not a big deal. All right. Don't save any of that. Okay. So we'll go back up and run it as a batch. And we'll bring all this back over. It's on my other screen. So source folder. Got to do all this again. All right, so we've got, oops, it's supposed to be desktop, PhotoDay demos. For some reason, it's not saving more. I opened things already. All right, save folder. We're going to make a new folder called extractions. I'm saving them as a single layer PSD. You can save them as a PNG if you'd like. You can use all layers if you want to stop and go back and correct things, or you think there's stuff you're going to have to fix, like tennis rackets or lacrosse sticks that have the netting. Sometimes you may need to repaint that in. It may not clear it out as well. Depends on how you set things up and how you photographed it, obviously. I like to hide tennis rackets by having them hug them or bringing it real close. That way there's very little green in the background. But if you save it as an all layer, you'll be able to edit the mask and edit any kind of adjustment layers that were put on it by the process. So, but I'm going to save it as a single layer to keep going. We're going to go with the dual mask. I've already got a preset made. Presets can be made by just going in and running one image and manually going through the process. I'm not going to go through how to do that. That's something that can be found easily on the Pixnub website, and I'd be happy to talk about it later. But I've already eaten up some time with some errors here, so I'm going to kind of keep banging through this. I know where it's going, so it's going on that template. And we're going to keep going. So run the batch process. All right. So this is just going to run. They'll take about 8-10 seconds each. So about a minute and a half, 2 minutes from now. Why is it running that way? All right. That's where you select your hair. So I must not have picked one. Let's see what happens here. That's weird. Okay. And if it asks to do it again, that means I don't have the right folder of, I don't have the right folder of images. We'll do it one more time. And honestly, now that you see the process and how to go through it, I have these already extracted. We can save an enormous amount of time and not watch Photoshop kind of chunk through extracting the images. Don't save. All right. So I can go through here and are we in here or not? Yeah. So these are already extracted. They're the same images. Let's get back up to the demo files. Good grief. You'd think I would have gotten more organized than that, huh? All right. So I've already saved these as extractions just to save us a whole lot of time. Well, here we go. That's what it looks like. And you can tell the extraction looks relatively good. Let's see. This is really too big for this. Oh, that's because it's on the wrong screen. I'm going to drop it over here really quick and bring it back. I can't get to the bottom to show you half the stuff. There we go. When you have two different size screens and you're sharing screens, it tends to cause a problem when you come back. There we go. All right. All right. So I'm going to drop a background behind it really quick. It's just a solid color just to show what the extraction looks like. All right. Oh, fine. So we can change that color to gray. It still looks good on gray. You can check your extraction to make sure it looks good. I'm going to zoom in on it, dude, because I want to show you how well using a dual mask channel works. So pre-extracting or doing a dual mask was exactly what I showed you with selecting that hair using a selection tool. And then it would go through and treat this hair separately. Because I had a preset applied inside Easy Green Screen that I already checked it against the background that I want to use. So I was just throwing on a background just so I can figure out, how far did I push it? And it still looks really good. So even on black, it's still going to look good. There's a little bit of gray haloing here because it's just a little bit on the bright side, but I wasn't planning on using it on black anyway. So, but now I know that it's a good extraction, and those hairs. I mean, I'm a stickler for good hair extractions, and you've got all the wisps here. You've got everything that makes it look believable when you're doing a composite. That's how I judge a good quality composite. I'm not going to save that. All right, so we've got that data, and we now have extractions, and we know our image numbers. We need to make some composites. So I've got a template I've already used for this. Let's make sure I've got the right template set up here. PhotoDay demos, templates. I didn't pull that one out of the Pershing file, so let me grab it out of the Pershing file, which is here. That's not the Pershing file. So I'm just going to pull this template. I make a template file, a folder, and I always save out my original. I save it out away from the original, so I'm not overwriting it. But I create all of these templates ahead of time. I will either purchase one, and this one is a Don Ward template. You'll be able to find it at Third Creative. Everybody has seen it. It is a popular template. It is making everybody a ton of money. Anyway, so we're going to open that up. And that's really where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this player layer so I can show you how to set this up. Let's get rid of that. And I'll explain a couple of things here. So you're going to set this template up. We're going to start making composites. Your layers have to match the headers in your data. We're going to go convert that data from what we get out of PixNub or out of PhotoDay into PixNub using a spreadsheet that Dan Burgess of PhotoDay has created for us. We're going to share that file with you in the users group under files. It is a Google sheet. You will need to make a copy of it. First hit the use template, and then it'll open in Google. You'll be able to save that Google sheet to your own Google Drive. That way you can use this to convert PhotoDay export to PixNub usable. I'm going to set this file up for you, show you how to do it really fast. There's a constraint factor here that I'm using for this particular text. I like to pick out for scaling text. I like to pick out the widest font or the widest characters in each font, and generally that is X and Z. So I'll do a 6-character first name and as many characters as I can fit last name in my file, so that I've spread this out. And then in PixNub, using the spreadsheet, you can control if it scales wider. If the text that's provided is wider than the characters that are in the layer, then it will scale it down. If not, then it won't scale it at all. So that helps keep your text from getting stretched too far, or names that are hyphenated or extra long will fit without you having to do anything. So, and then up here, I've got the class year or the team that they're on. I think I called it team. So anyway, so I've shut that off. We'll set this up really quick. You go through Sports Photo Automator is what we're going to use to set up this template. And so the template is really basic. This process is very easy. You set up your PSD template by adding a player layer group, and that's the group that I just had. And you can have up to 3 players in here if you wanted. So you could add 3 player images and scale them differently and fade them back and forth and all of that. So you can have multiple images running or multiple players referenced here. So here we go. We can do this. We're just going to do a single one. Whoops. I'm going to delete that because I don't want that player mode. Anyway. I use player mode 2 a lot because I like the crosshairs. I like to control the vertical of where the player's centered, and then I want the eyes at a specific level. Hopefully, I get lucky and don't get the hair up there. There are like 9 different player setup, or 10, 11. I think there's 6 for extracted files. I think there's 3 for non-extracted files, and I believe there's 2 for team images. But that I'm going to let you go look that up on the Pixnub website under the tutorials section, because I want you to learn those yourself. I choose 2 here because, as you'll see here, it puts a crosshair right about eye height and center of the player. So for me, I like to just center my players here. We're going to just zoom this up pretty quick. And that's pretty good for me. I'm happy with that. The next step, I put this in the player area where Don has a specific player folder he wants you to put this in. So let's see if I deleted the whole folder, which I probably did. I did. Let me go back and undelete this. Oh, yeah, I love this. This is great. All right, so there he is. All right. Come on. Subject images. There we go. I deleted the whole subject images thing. So go back and we will go ahead and place a player layer here. All right. I'll resize it again. That's probably way too big. And of course, you can see I've added guides to each side that tell me this is really kind of where you want to make sure you don't have anything outside of it when they crop to a 5x7. A lot of people are out there wondering how I manage that when they crop it. I just make sure that there's nothing really important outside these guides. That way, when they order a 5x7 of this, it just crops in from the sides and you're not really missing anything. Okay, we'll do that. And then, okay, so we're going to add a custom player image here. So really, this is how you scale them properly. You're going to go out and you're going to grab an extracted file that you already have and put it in here, because this doesn't offer any kind of scale for you. It really is just kind of a generic player placement, so you can kind of get a feel for where it goes. We're going to pick out, let's see, it's asking me if it's a non-cutout or a cutout. So apparently you can do that now with non-cutouts. So this is a cutout image. We're going to go back to extractions and, well, let's go back and pick the right ones. I'm going to pick any one. I usually will find the widest pose. So that's pretty wide right there. So let's just pick him and hit open. And now it's going to put it in there. You're going to see what it looks like actually scaled. This may be actually gigantic, and of course it is. So now you can actually scale your player to fit your template properly, right? So I'm going to put them kind of in there. Right about there's good. That's pretty close. That's pretty close to center. I'm happy with that. I may shrink him just a little bit more, but all right. Perfect. Okay, so I like it right about there. We'll go up just a little taller, and then we'll hit return. All right, so when you do your player setup, I can close that out. It puts that player setup folder all the way at the top, which is the easiest way to find it is up there. So now I'm going to drop this down into my subject images folder. Because he has a drop shadow applied to that folder, it will automatically give that drop shadow. Personally, I think I shot these are a little dark. I don't think these are my edited ones. I think these are the ones I just extracted and ran on with. But nice thing is you can add other features and other enhancements here in Photoshop, especially if you're using smart objects. But we won't get into that right now. So that's it. I'm going to save this template into. I'm going to save a copy into my templates folder. And there goes my camera again because I didn't touch it in 30 minutes. Come on. All right, forget it. Let's go back here. All right. We're just going to name it demo individual. All right. save as a copy, layered, and your profile. Always check your profile. You're shooting an sRGB, you're printing an sRGB. Make sure your template color space is an sRGB. You'll get a warning if it's not when you run these, but most of the time these are all pre-done in sRGB. So, all right, so that template is set up. All right, it's saving. So give me a sec here. We're going to jump out of here. Don't save. Okay. All right, so we are going to jump out of here, and we're going to get into how to manage that data we just got so that we can create those composites. So now I'm going to open that spreadsheet back up again. And all right, so this is the one we got our spreadsheet information from. PixNub needs, and we're going to make a new one here. I've created one for myself that helps do some things for me, but now that we have first and last name capabilities in the conversion spreadsheet, we don't need these extras in here, so I'll delete them out. But open new. All right. So I have, and I'm just going to get rid of that so we can zoom up. I have created this so that I've got all of the different fields that are available to me in PixNub of things that I can manipulate and use. And so new file name, you can actually rename the file, append. You can, add a team file, logo. You can add different backgrounds. So you can run these images with 3 different templates just by telling it how to reference the name of the template in your templates folder. So you can just change the background file with the spreadsheet. So what we're going to do, we're going to open up Google real quick. Let's see if we get. All right. So I think I just grab a new sheet here. All right. Now, when you first open the link that we're going to provide you, there's going to be up in the top right corner. It says use this template, because right now it's just set up as a template. That way it'll open up in Google and then you can make a copy of it. I've already done that here to save me just a few seconds. But here you've got full name, which it will be created for you by the first and last name that's provided. So really what we need to do is just go in here. I'm going to hide this one since we're not ready for that yet. Okay. We're going to take this information from PhotoDay. This is our export from PhotoDay, right? Here's our photo file names. I'm going to copy this whole column and I'm going to paste it into, where did Google go? Oh, wait, no, sorry, wrong one. This is our file names from PhotoDay. We're going to copy that and we're going to paste it into here. Apparently there's just cleared out, paste. And then we are going to take our names, first and last and first. Okay, let's see if I can move this. Generally, I don't think I can move files. I think I have to create them. So we'll just do last name first, copy. And we'll do. And we'll do the same with last name. Whoops. Got ahead of myself. Oh boy. Okay, there we are. And I got to get the first names now. Now that this is set up this way, we're going to, I might have to see if we can reverse these so that we can just copy these 2 columns together and call it good. That'll be something I'll talk with Dan about real quick, but. All right, so we've got our file names in here. So you can see it created Larry Bird, Kevin Gamble, Mikhail, all of these out here from your first and last names. So you provide that and your image numbers. Now, here's some pretty incredible little magic. It is now going to split all of these image numbers and the name into separate rows so they can be used to create individual composites. There it is. There's everything you need right there to create composites with this data. This is the conversion that everybody's been missing. This is the magic, and Dan Burgess made this happen. So, if you ever run into him, buy the man a bourbon, okay? He deserves it. This was like, the magic sauce that makes it work. So I'm now done with this for now. I'm going to close that one out. I'm going to bring open my my untitled one that I just started. We're going to close all of that down. We don't need that much. I had to create this from, we were unsuccessful in creating the full name previously because we weren't able to upload first and last name. We can only create names. So I was basically putting in full name and having my spreadsheet create first and last name for me. Since I don't need to do that anymore, I can pretty much delete all of this column out. Well, I don't want to clear it. Let's just, it's an infinite. Oh boy, there we go. So now I've got those cleared. So we're just going to copy and paste Dan's information. This column, you can do it either way. Since we've got the full name, actually, we can just do it here. The heck? Okay. On. I'm going to take this whole column, and we're just going to copy it. I'm going to throw it in the name because it's going to create my name fields for me. We'll hit paste and match style, and so yeah, real good, Bri. Copy. And apparently I have that. Yeah. All right. I'm not a Google Sheet user, so this is just going to be what it is, and we'll move on from there. So I'll delete the first one. So now it's taking, for me, I created one where it just pulled all that back out. But the first column of your spreadsheet needs to be SPA. It needs to say SPA on it so that it knows what it's looking for, and that has to be your image numbers. So we're going to go... oh, that's because it's setting that up. Okay, well, we'll just deal with that later. There is all of your image numbers on the same rows as the name that are referencing them. And this little, remember I told you how we could constrain the text on that last and first name or full name? X is scaling on the horizontal, and M is the restrictor, or basically the way to manage keeping the text from not going beyond the characters that are provided in that layer. So we've got the name layer matching. It all has to be capitalized. And now we've got okay, so that's it. And so now we're constraining the length or the width of the text that's being put out there. So, all right, everything else is fine. I'm not using a first and last name layer, so I don't have that. But if you had a template that had first name on one layer and last name on another, this would also be where you would have that. I'm going to delete this row just to get rid of it. Now I don't have to worry about that. Okay, so we've got this. I'm going to save this as a CSV. We're going to export it out. All right, so we're just going to name it demo file name roster, and yeah, it's in the right folder for the first time ever. All right, so now that is ready to actually be used to run for Sports Photo Automator. So we're going to do that really quick. I have these already exported and converted so we can start uploading them. But all right, so you're going to go back into your Sports Photo Automator, and you're going to go back to the home menu on this and hit batch processing. So this is where you're going to select all of your still over there. You're going to select your player image folder. So that would be our extracted folders right there. And you're going to have your saved folder. You want to save it to a composites folder. I already have that set. Okay. Looks like I've already created a bunch in here, but it'll go ahead and do them. And then we'll go create, select your PSD templates. So that's why I make a template folder. Tip for making templates run faster. Flatten them all out. So anything behind the player, the extra layers, the extra sports that are involved. So some of these templates you purchase are multi-sport templates. Go ahead and compress those or flatten those layers out behind the player that don't interact. And something that doesn't interact with the player, especially just background stuff. Text, always leave that on its own or wherever it is. If there are things in the foreground that don't interact with it, you can do that too. But basically flatten out your background and just delete out layers that aren't being used. The size of that template can slow down your compositing process. So we are selecting the... Well, I got talking, forgot what the hell I was talking about. Oh, we're talking about PSD template file. Sorry. We're selecting that one. And now you can pick your CSV file because we have names in here we're going to work with. I forgot to add the grade to each one. So that template won't matter. Hang on, let me fix that. Like I said, this is a little detailed, and sometimes I get ahead of myself and forget. So I've got a team name that I want to add here. I don't remember which ones they're actually on, but honestly, I'll just, whoops. So we'll just pull this down to about right about there, and then we'll do 7th grade for the rest. You get to all watch me fumble with a keyboard. All right. And so we'll just pull this down to the end. It doesn't really matter if it goes past because there's no records that it's trying to look for, but that's fine. So I have to save that again as a CSV because now I've updated the record. Real quick, save that. Next. Let's see. All right, there we go. Yeah. All right, so now we can run that. I still have to go back and reselect it because it loads the data. Let's see, demo files and rosters. It's been loaded. Now I see a problem, and somebody, I can hear you out there. I can hear somebody out there. Is it Tim? Tim's screaming at me. I can tell. Dude, you forgot to change it to PSD. Oh, yeah. So in my file, it's looking for Photoshop files, right? But what I uploaded to PhotoDay were JPEGs. So the data it gave me was JPEGs. So you need to convert what you're looking for, what you're making Photoshop search for, is actually the layered file that's been extracted. So I have to go back in really fast to this once again and fix the fact that, see, it's looking for .jpeg right there, and it can't. It needs a Photoshop file. So the easy way to do that is just find and replace again. So .jpg and replace with .psd. So I'm basically renaming the file, the image files over there. I'm replacing and finding all. Now they're PSDs over here. Now we can go ahead. Thanks, Tim. I could tell you were out there screaming at me. Anyway, so now we're going to say export it again. All right. Yes. All right. Now we're good. So I got to go load that again because now I've appended it. All right, it's loaded again. So now it'll find the files. PhotoDay requires a 15-minute maximum file size. So I believe these were all shot and are being composited at 16 by 20. I'm going to drop this down to quality of 11 to make sure I fit inside that. And I'm going to hit run batch. we'll see if I actually name that player properly or not. It may or may not show you. It may go fast enough. And it's not going very fast at all. Nope, it's moving it. So you can see it said 8th grade there. So it pulled the team name, and now it's only scaling if the name is longer than what I provided out here. So it's not scaling this text. It's keeping it nice and centered. So anyway, you're watching how it works. You can see the extraction looks clean. Placement's exactly where I wanted it. It's inside my boundaries, so I'm not going to have anything cut off. And so we're just going to watch these work for a second. Let me get back to this and see if anybody's got any questions. I have been watching my screen and not reading comments. Hopefully Lisa's been answering anything while I've been in here screwing things up.
Yeah, I think we got mostly everybody answered down here. I think there was one question Rich had about buttons and bag tags and aspect ratios. And
yeah, those are all things you have to do separately, and you can do a composite. You can do this with it. If you're going to do a composite like this and you want to do it, I know Don provides a template for a button. You can save that as the button template, and it's round. So anybody who wants to buy a button is going to look at it and go, oh, it's round. That's probably what I should use to buy my button. I mean, there's a little common sense involved with some of this stuff, but you can also add that to a JPEG image that you can basically, put it as _ read me first, and then apply that to everybody's galleries as an image that just gets matched to everybody. And then that will be the first image they see, because an underscore is going to come before any other number. And you can have that JPEG image with any kind of description or directions you want. So if you want them to order something as an 8x10, tell them, hey, my team photos are set up as 8x10s. Be careful if you're going to order a 5x7. Make sure you've not cropped anything off. You can give them directions like that. We all know parents don't read, but it's okay. You've got to put something out there to cover your own butt. But you can have them use the round image as their button selection. So when they go to buy a button, that way you're controlling what the button looks like with a composite, instead of it just cutting off crap on the outside. So it could cut off the logos, it could cut off an arm, depending on where it fits. It won't look real great. But if you provide that by creating it, you can guide them in how to use it. So let's see. I'm looking at stuff. Yeah. I see somebody here says this could be a 2-part series. Yeah, unfortunately, because of the few things that I didn't set up properly before this for you guys, it's taken a lot longer. Anyway, so I'm not going to run all those. I have them all extracted. Let's move on to something else that works. I'm going to hit escape here to stop it, and that should get me out of it. Okay, and I can close that. I'm not going to save them all. All right, so we're going to go back to PhotoDay, and because I have all of these already done, hide that, and go back to the Studio app. All right, so we're going to go in here to my photos, and so I already know that all these images are here, so I'm going to go ahead and upload my composites. So we're going to find out where I screwed up with this kid, if he's in here even at all, but we're going to upload photos. And now, because I didn't change the file names, they're going to be the same name. It's going to just overwrite them. And it's going to ask me, do you want to overwrite them or do you want to skip? So let's go back to PhotoDay demo files and composites. I'm just going to, let's do not folder. I'm not going to do a folder. We're going to do, I can upload photos themselves. So I can see I've got some duplicates in there from this demo. So instead of duplicating, we'll just pick the ones that I know I've got. All right, there they are. And so down here, you can see it's saying duplicates. Uh-oh, look out, you got duplicates. I'm going to hit replace all once it's loaded them all. Replace all. So now it's going to start just replacing images and then doing its face find thing again. We'll see which ones are missing, which ones aren't. I think it actually turned out okay, because I can show you what happens when something's missing or when there's images that aren't matched up right. So right now it's saying I've got 5 unmatched, which is still these guys, but it's cranking through. So this is the guy I forgot to put in here, but it matched him up. So Oh, that's because I didn't use their names. You're going to see different names on these composites because the ones that I provided are not the ones with the names we just created. So bear with me on that. So let's see. So this kid's name is actually Jackson. I have permission to use these. It's not a big deal. But so anyway, this would be where Bill Cartwright's images are, and you would see Bill Cartwright's name on here because that's what we just composited. These are images I've already composited because I didn't feel you wanted to sit here and watch Photoshop work for 15 minutes. So understand that these are actually going to be the correct name with this kid. So this matched up. This is his reference photo. You can see it right there. And so, you know, we took these images here. And that's what happens. So I've got a few that are still unmatched. So I've got 15 unmatched, which means I have images that don't match up with kids that I didn't match properly here with their images. Oh, let's see. Why is he not showing up? Cool. So you can watch me match these guys up. So I know that this is, oh no, it's still working. Sorry. I got a little ahead of myself. I didn't let the server work. This is a busy season, guys. So if you have, if things aren't working fast, you know, as fast as you expect them to be, just realize that everybody else is doing the same thing. And FaceFind is a server-based product, so it can get busy, and so things might take just a little bit longer. Now you can see it only took a couple extra seconds, but so there's these photos for this guy that aren't matched up.
Yeah, it's doing some pretty complicated stuff. So we try to make it as instant as possible, but sometimes.
And it is really, honestly, it's so fast. You know, by the time I'm done uploading, I'd say 85% of the images are matched. And I just sit down and I'll take a drink of something. I look up, oh, they're all done. You know.
Yeah.
So here we are. We've got everybody matched up. They're all in their own photo. So this matches this photo. Don't worry about the names, guys. Like I said, I did not finish compositing these using our spreadsheet that I just created here. These are the actual composites from the job. So, yeah, but these all match up face-wise. So, all right. So you want to go ahead?
I did share the file that you created, your resource PDF, to the webinar guys. So if you guys want to download that, if you haven't seen it under files, you can grab that PDF. And I think there's a link to that Google Sheet on there, right?
Yeah, no, there's a link right at the bottom. You just click on the button. It'll take you right to, it'll open up the link to the Google Sheet. However, if you're like me and have Safari as a default, it may open up in Safari, but you got to click the use template in the bottom or in the top right corner. That will open it in Google Chrome, or open it to make a copy of it so that it'll open it into Google, even through Safari. So once you do that, then you can make a copy of it and save it to your Google Drive, because it is a Google Sheet and the coding in here is inside Google. It's some sort of Google magic that Dan managed to write for us. There's really no other way that anything works this way. I couldn't do it in Excel. I couldn't find a way to do it in numbers. Don't even get me started on numbers. You can't do a whole lot in numbers. And then Dan's a programmer. He's a brilliant guy, and he had figured this out for himself, and then decided to share it with me and a bunch of others. And so, because this is the secret behind getting it done and automating it so that it's faster, I don't have to go through and find all those little images. We just make that happen. I think part of my process that has been hard to explain is using the finding feature in Photo Mechanic to physically find the images. They're all selected for you, and then dragging them to a new folder, making a copy of them. So if we were to do a team image, I could go back into PhotoDay here and go to. So I'm going to go through and use the star rating system. So I want everybody in my team to have that image, to have a team photo. So I'm just going to go through, and I want the one that's smiling. So I'll pick that one. Now what's going to happen is every one of these ones, let's see here, every one of these ones that I'm selecting using this star rating system is going to be featured, is going to become the featured photo for the gallery. It'll also be the one that I think it's, if you use marketing materials, the marketing flyers, if you want to access it, you can say just use the first image, the featured image. But this will be the one that shows up in the featured photo export. I'm going to do a real quick one here. I'm just going to get all these guys exported or selected so that there's at least a file for it. So now I go out and I'll do another export. So we're going to hit up exports here. You got to go into this view and edit exports. I'm going to create another export. I'm going to call it team photos. Team. Whoops, I'm not in the field. All right. Great. All right. So we're going to do this. We're going to select, once again, all subjects. I don't care if they have that. We're going to group them by team and then confirm. Okay. So here I'm going to select that and let's do an export. So now this export is going to have at the end of the spreadsheet a featured photo column. Now those image numbers are going to be in there. And now it's as simple as highlighting. Let's see, scroll over. Now, I must have missed picking this kid up, but that's okay. You can see it says featured photo. That's the column. Now I just pick up the whole column and I copy. And I will go into Photo Mechanic. And I will go into my extracted folder. Yeah. And I don't want to, whoops, clicking too fast here. All right, so I'll go back up here. Select all. Of course, I need to change it to find. Okay. Find. All right, so I just need to replace them as PSD because once again, your extracted files are PSDs. All right, so now I can copy that back again. Once you get it down, it's not so complicated. All right, I'm going to take that out because it won't find a space. All right. See, look, now I found every feature or every photo living on my hard drive that is here. So now I can literally take this. We're going to go into extracted, and in here, I'm going to create a new folder inside the folder. We're going to name it team. Whoops. Of course, you have to hit delete. I think it's something weird with this, with Mac. I don't want to do that. Fine, whatever. I need to rename that. And if you don't hit delete, it won't rename it. So we'll just team. All right. So now I've got a team folder. Yeah, I know. Now I'm just going to hold and copy. So if you don't hold your Option key down or your Alt key on PC, it'll just drag them there. I don't want that. I want to actually copy them. So now they're in there. So now I can go back into Photoshop, and I can open Team Builder, which is pretty awesome. There it is down there. It's going to look for the cutouts folder. So now you've got a folder full of players that you can just go through and make your team. Extractions. Team. There they all are. Select that. I don't have any presets necessarily. Actually, I do. I have one set that's just center front. You can select center front by, the layout is row by height, center, short. So I want the shortest player in the center. You can have it by height, center, tall. You can have it by random. I always go center, short. You can play with these settings. There are specifics, but these two here are this is perspective scaling. So if you have multiple rows going back, it'll scale it by 2% each row. That kind of helps you kind of give it a realistic look. But we're going to hit build team. Oh, but before I do this, I got to set up a new layer here real quick. Come on. There we go. Oh, let me do that. Well, I thought I had a new file open. I'm just checking the new file, guys. Hang on. It's inches. All right. Okay. You have to have a layer called Easy Team. Otherwise, it doesn't know what to look for. Once again, Easy Team. Right. Otherwise, it won't know what to look for, and it's not going to know how to composite, so it won't do it. So now you can build your team. Now it says there's 10 players. I'm going to do 5 in front, 4 in back. So it's automatically calculating this out for you. You can just run it. I do a little bit more organic posing. So there's some math I have to do when I do this. I'll literally do the math myself. So I'll find out, okay, I've got, 12 players or 13 players. I'm going to have 1 in the center in the front, and I'll have, 9 wide. And then I'll put, whatever players are left on the back. So I have that many. I need to know how many are facing right, facing left, and center. So that helps me figure that out. Continue. And this is just going to do it for me. So it's going to go through. It's going to take its time and do some calculation. It's going to figure the top of the player, basically the size of the player, and find an average that it can scale them all the same to fit the width of the document you just created. So that was an 8x10 horizontal. So I'm just creating a team, and it's just going to do it for me. See, done. 26 seconds to build a team. Obviously, that's not how it would look in the template, but you now can take this team and just drag the whole team layer over to whatever template you're using, and now you've got your team. You can size it, scale it, put them together tighter, make your edits, and then save your team. But I just wanted to walk that through you because I needed to show you the feature photo item feature that we use here in PhotoDay, and it helps. It's just another way to manage data. This is kind of that process of getting through what you're given, converting it into something you need to use, and then finding a couple of processes that work. So the key products that I use here, obviously PhotoDay. I'm using Pixnub, Easy Green Screen, basically all of their Pixnub, sports automators, and then of course Photo Mechanic to help me physically move all of the images over. There is another operation or another software you can use. I believe it's called Find It or Find All. It's on Mac only, as far as I know. I wasn't able in the time that I had to figure it out to get it to work the way I wanted it, so I didn't feature it here. But Bill Durbin gave me this information a while back, and I haven't really had the time to explore it. But there's another opportunity here for finding and moving images into folders so that you can use this data to organize the images to make these extractions go faster. So it's kind of like painting a house, guys. Really, the prep work is where everything happens. Just running this it takes no time whatsoever. I'd rather spend a little extra time here setting things up, getting things ready, getting my spreadsheets ready, and all of that stuff, and then just hitting go and walking away. And in the morning, I wake up and I've got 800 or 900 composites already done for me, and I'm ready to upload them back to PhotoDay. Then I can publish my job. One of the great parts of PhotoDay that we're not really getting into right now is this built-in marketing service where you can build flyers, and with private galleries, the gallery codes are already automated and put into the flyer for you. So it's really a no-brainer process. And now we have new marketing campaigns that go out with your text messages. So as soon as your gallery is published, it sends out a text. It also now sends out an email. So you no longer have to think about, well, now I got to go send out an email to tell them, even if they, for those that didn't opt in or those that didn't subscribe to their gallery, if they don't do that, they don't know about it. But now with the emails, they're going to get an email because you have everybody's emails now. So that's going to really help everybody get more traction and more traffic to their galleries. So anyway, I think that's really where we at.
Yeah, I was going to add to that because I ran numbers yesterday. So if you guys want to hear stats. So
yeah, lay it on us.
With the new campaigns, which it's super cool. If you guys have never tried the customer gallery yet, when you do go and put in a gallery code and access it like you're a customer for the first time, we do ask if they'd like to subscribe for text marketing updates for that gallery. And about 1/3 of people that were not currently opted in that receive the email campaigns that are going to visit their gallery are opting in. So now you're hitting them with email and they're getting the text notifications because consumers just like to be reminded because they get so busy, right? We get so busy as parents. So now they're getting both communication. So that's helping speed up time to view to sales a lot. But yeah, so it's going pretty strong. And yeah, Tim, I hear you. It's on my wish list too. So you know me, I love marketing. So but yeah, maybe that's your second feature request. I like that one better. You're making too many feature requests on this webinar. Oh man.
All right.
So let's see. Are we done sharing screen, Brian?
I think so. Yeah, I can give you back control there. We can go back to this. I don't think I'll stick around for a little bit if anybody's got any extra questions, which it looks like just scrolling through here that there's a ton. It did not go as smoothly as I wanted. I thought I'd done enough prep and thought I put everything where it needed to, but I think you got the gist of what I was trying to do here. So, but I'm available for questions.
It's always hard when you're sharing your screen and you're running multiple software at once during a webinar, and you also have to keep circling back to making sure the attendees can see what you're actually doing. It can be, I do it all the time. So
it was opening windows on my Mac over here, and the second screen, it wasn't showing half of the interface. I'm going, wait, I got to move that over. And so it was kind of, but we're there.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff, a lot of knowledge you shared today. I'm sure it'll help out a lot of people who were watching today and who will watch the replay. But so if anyone's new to PhotoDay, there's no upfront fees. You can go and sign up right now. I'll just go ahead and put the sign up link in the offer here. So if you're new and you've never used PhotoDay before, go ahead and sign up. You can start using this and playing with Capture and test driving it today. Like, there are no prepaid fees. We don't even ask you for payment information. So until you start selling with PhotoDay, it is completely free to use. So you get all these features for free. What we were talking about, the text and email marketing, the Capture app. We have free auto head sizing on exports for our crop tool. We don't charge extra for the digital downloads. You get unlimited storage. We don't do contracts. We don't do monthly fees or anything like that. And of course, we have a wealth of knowledge, resources, support, educational material, all for you guys with PhotoDay. So also, thank you for watching, and thank you for your time, Brian. But if anyone here wants to set up a demo call, so you can learn more, I'm just going to go ahead and push that link out too. So what I'll do, if you want a demo call, if you want a one-on-one walkthrough, we'll be happy to set that up, screen share with you guys. I just pushed that out. So there's the link. You can grab it, click on it, schedule your own personal one-on-one time with one of us, and we'll be happy to walk you through anything else and have any questions. But yeah, so Brian, you must be thirsty. You did a whole lot of talking.
I'm good though. I'm probably going to go ahead and I'm going to organize this a little better, and I may put together another little YouTube video and post it inside the PhotoDay user group that might help. I'll compartmentalize these processes, I think, so that they're easily digestible in smaller chunks, like what to do first, what to do next, manage the data, all of that stuff. So, because this turned into a gigantically long webinar.
It's fine. It's fine. Every time I do a private gallery webinar, it runs over an hour. So I knew once you show Capture and you start showing all that stuff, you get really into it. There's a lot of moving pieces.
And this is the part of my talk that I did at SPAC that I didn't get to finish. So you can understand that they gave me 90 minutes and there wasn't even close to being enough time to get into this stuff. I was just barely getting into sports compositing and all of the details into that, let alone the process of doing this part. So anybody that attended my class at SPAC, this is the rest of it. So for those of you that are watching later that aren't from here, that may come in from SPAC, this is what you missed, and this is what I didn't get to finish. So if you have more questions, just hit me up somewhere on Facebook, or just send me out an email or something. So.
Yeah, or you can book a one-on-one time.
Book a one-on-one. Go to PhotoDay and book a one-on-one. So.
Yeah, for sure. But thanks for everyone for sticking with us today and learning new things. Again, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us in the bubble, which is our support chat, or send us an email at support@photoday.io, or go ahead and schedule that call. And we wish you a very happy and successful season.
Yeah, go make some money, guys. All right.
Yes. Bye.
Thanks for your patience, all. All right. Bye-bye.